Holness about to lose your flipping seat because the 17 statements of voter irregularity that is up against you. If the country don't make me tell you, Drancro, you know that you're going to lose the case. Ask you, Wild Man. You're going to lose. The court only wanted one irregularity. One. That is all they want. The Supreme Court, them have 17. Either 17 or 18. This is why I don't want to come out about revive law to let people with misinformation be held liable. The only misinformation are uno Drancro. Uno
Alright, so welcome again, viewers. I tune to On The Views, and in this one, I have this video with this gentleman saying that if the government ever move the people out of Petersfield and don't have anywhere to put them, the war is on. I'm going to share this video with him talking about leading a revolution. Yeah, viewers. So, that brother here look like him serious, cause man make sure call Andrew Holness them name brawling. And he also was talking about him losing his seat and his court hearing that is going on right now between him and Mr. Paul Buchanan. And also, I don't know if many of you saw this video with the Minister of Finance, Ms. Fayval. To me, she failed to answer these questions. I'm wondering if she really knows her work. But viewers, I'm not going to say much, but state your thought on this.
Loan to JPS of approximately 23 billion Jamaican, is that in addition to the 45 million US dollars that they received from the self-insurance?
Yeah, remember the 150 million is a loan from the Ministry of Finance and it's a loan from the government. Operationalized by finance and the public service. In terms of their insurance payments, that question would have to be put to the respective ministry. I don't have the. Okay, from the OUR, it has nothing to do with the loan. It's separate from the loan.
So that is separate from the loan.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So in addition, all right. So the JPS loan that was given by the Ministry of Finance, do you have the current interest rate that was agreed to?
5.5%.
5.5%. Are we correct that the projected rate of borrowing that the government can achieve is approximately 12 to 15% projected?
I'm sorry, projected based on what? 12. Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, the documents that we have seen suggest that if the government was to borrow, the interest rates that they'll likely be able to achieve was approximately 12 to 15%. Is that correct?
Absolutely not. Significantly lower.
It will be significantly lower. Do you have an estimate of the rates that the government will be able to borrow at?
The average rate, member, and if you look at our debt profile publication, you will see that it is in the single-digit range.
Yes, so can you give me a better understanding? Is it 3%, 7%, 8%?
So member, as you can imagine, our source of financing, there are different sources of financing. You have the commercial market, you commercial market local, commercial market international. You have our international partners, and in each of those, the rate would be different. International partners, very low single digit. Domestic market, single digit as well. International market, single digit. So if you were to average that across the entire portfolio, it still comes back to a single digit number.
Yeah, Madam Minister, single digit can vary from 10 to 9. So I'm asking if you can give us a ballpark, a range of where the average interest rate would be.
All right, so member, just to direct you, there is a publication that's done. It's called our medium-term debt management strategy. This one goes from fiscal year 2025 to 2026 to fiscal year 2028-29, and it goes in great detail about the loan portfolio. And as I flip through the pages, you will note that on, let me get to it. All right, so if we look at our domestic interest rate, it's about no, this is not it. All right, so member, it goes anywhere from a low of 3.3% to 8.5%, depending on the instrument and the market in which we borrow and the currency.
All right, so thank you, Minister. As it relates to the 3.6 billion US dollars, approximately, that's what, 500 billion Jamaican, is any portion of that to be in this supplementary budget?
Oh, none of that is in this fiscal year's
None of that is in this fiscal year. If I can go back to the 24 billion for JPS, how would that impact the liquidity and the ability to implement projects going forward this year into this budget?
How would that impact the government?
Yes, to do the housing, the water, the food packages, the removal of that 25 billion in a loan to JPS, how would that impact the budget's ability?
It does not. We have ample liquidity to manage what we, set out to do this fiscal year.
Okay. What's the estimated impact of this 3.6 billion on the debt to GDP ratio moving forward?
So, member, we're not going to take everything on our books all at once. We will be very careful about the drawdown on these facilities that are available to us. As you can imagine, these facilities are to enable us to do big projects that would add to the GDP growth. These projects are going to be over 1, 2, maybe 3 fiscal year.
Yes.
So there will be, a time frame over which these loans would be drawn down as the projects.
So considering so first question, did the Prime Minister misspoke when he said that over 3 years we'll be doing the drawdown? Did he misspeak?
The announcement, the headline announcement was 3 years from our international partners. But remember, it's going to depend on the pace of government.
So it might not be 3 years.
It will depend on the pace of government.
Okay.
So I have a message this morning for Desmond Mackenzie or whoever the government is. Anyone I know, what the government? The news say you, Desmond Mackenzie, you say that the people who are being sheltered at Petersfield in a Westmoreland and whichever other shelter, we're going to tell them that at the end of the month, December month, they must leave. They must leave the shelter because they're not going to need the school to clean up the school and get it ready for the school year 2026. Desmond Mackenzie, me Marvin Edgar, I'm going to tell you this. You see the war we only did want all along, where all of us have been trying to be peaceful and civil in the country. If we don't find someone to put them before we, the citizens who have been working assiduously to get the people them food and shelter, Desmond Mackenzie, Andrew Holness, the whole of Uno in a parliament, every last one of Uno, if we don't find somewhere put the people them, they ever leave out of the friggin' shelter, remember me telling us, say, the war that your Prime Minister have been talking about, and the war is on. The war is on. I mean, I come put a ski mask and come put a nothing. If you move my people out of that shelter there, where government money pay for, and put them in the streets, just up in school, drunk, you will have another guest coming. You think it is that I cannot organize the people of Jamaica to do things in this country? You know how many people have been inboxing me and been begging me to do something in this country, to start a revolution? Well, let me tell you this. This is more than the flipping straw where broke the camel back. Uno is so insensitive, uno uncaring, uno go home, uno make them statements because uno go home to uno stinking house, uno go home to uno dirty family, uno go home go near steak, uno go home go near sushi and the best and champagne at the expense of Jamaicans, and the same Jamaicans I'm gonna want to put them on the flipping streets without providing nowhere. It would have been better if the flipping news had said that we, the government, have some housing solutions, or we have partnered with some hotels where all the persons from Petersfield will be moved from the shelter to a hotel temporarily until the housing that the government are talking about get the people situated. You're telling me that after a disaster of this magnitude, the fact that uno barely care anything go give nobody, right? Uno have been sitting on the donations 1 month and odd later. Uno have the audacity to tell the country that uno not pay, uno not use none of the money. We have not used any of the dollars. We've been using government money. We've been using government money. The government did not even have money to pay civil servants before the hurricane. We never even have enough money to pay civil servants. But do not use government money. I want to keep the opposition out of everything. This is a disaster for the country. And the opposition have a right at the table. We voted for 28 of them. And you and all is about to lose your flipping seat. Because the 17 statements of voter irregularity that is up against you. If the country don't know, me tell you, Drancro, you know that you're going to lose the case. Ask you, Wildman. You're going to lose. The court only wanted one irregularity. One. That is all they want. The Supreme Court, them have 17. Either 17 or 18. This is why I don't want to come about revive law to let people with misinformation be held liable. The only misinformation are uno drankro, uno existence. You hear me telling you? Uno sick stomach. You know from when they try to just focus on the people and for grown people right now uno ear say in a Savlamar, you think it's a Savlamar alone that is asking for psychologists, that is asking for counselors, that is asking for psychiatrists, because people have been losing their shit right across the country. The people not know where to sleep, them not know house, them not know nothing, they have nothing. Most of those people, most of the whole friggin' country could have barely survived. Barely friggin' survived. From hand to mouth, now that they've lost everything. You people want to pour friggin' salt in the wounds of the people. And I don't know what kind of spell is on the country, but I'm gonna tell you this. This is the straw. I am tired of talking. The people who follow me don't know exactly. Don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. But we're not gonna sit here while the government of Jamaica go home to them king size and queen size bed. Them king size bed and air condition and electricity. And their kids are in school. Their kids are even overseas having fun while they take Mr. Christopher tough time. I see one picture post up with him. I don't know how factual it is. I take nice pictures for Christmas already. I do photo friggin' shoot. The Prime Minister gone to New York and left Babsy Grange in charge of the country. Now we have St. Lucia. St. Lucia is saying that how disappointing they are that the Jamaica Labour Party, they were specific. The Jamaica Labour Party coming there to meddle in their election. You don't have time for go and frig up the people in election. And Rhoda Moy Crawford, you gone over St. Vincent. For meddle in the people in election. When you don't have businesses here, when you don't have no constituents here, when you have Jamaicans here who are suffering as shit, and the country quiet, and people are right across the country. Every goddamn day I hear some of the Jamaicans. I be a Rosalie and Rebel and all these damn TikTokers. And them is something now to make become important. These are the things that make important. Gossip. Fight. When Jamaicans are down there losing their shit, they call me every day. People about to go crazy right across the country. And the freaking government so insensitive and uncaring. On a drunk, on a sick stomach. A time now, man. Me sick of uno. These drunk out of what I mean. We're going to get rid of all of uno. So Andrew Holness, I don't know who you're going to make run the country, because you are going to lose. The Supreme Court is going to rule. Let me tell you, because I never know. Null and void. You will not be the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And I'm curious as to who are going to run this country. Right? But if you feel like, say, you just have to transition back into normalcy, and then you have some Jamaicans who commented under the Gleaner's post that if the people and did expect to be in the shelter for more than 2 months, Uno did expect to be in the shelter for more than 2 months, Uno is an uncaring set of dog shit. All of Uno. Every one of Uno who support this move, you are nothing but a big load of dog shit. Uno is the worst thing. And that is why I know sometimes I don't even believe in karma. I don't even believe in karma. Because there's no God way Uno can be this evil and a storm of that magnitude come so and no go with Uno drankro. And no go with Uno left Uno. I am so sorry for the people in Kingston and me love and respect. And the people, I wish the storm could be specific with with its location. Very specific. Where it visit on a drunkro, a found a yard, a found a business place. It should have visit. It should have visit. Wreck on a life. Wreck on a. Make you know how it feel. So that the people in my country can carry breadfruit and carry yam and think. Think about holding back the resources and bring it to them whenever them feel like. On a sick stomach. And I'm asking, I said, I'm telling you a long time, the people them down there, leptospirosis, a kill off people like a crazy. We're not talking about malaria yet. We're not talking about dengue because nobody feels it. It's not going to happen. And the cholera. Let me tell you something. Jamaica, the government, uno come talk about I'll find gun in a package sent to Jamaica. So and the person is arrested. Why we not hear the name of the person who arrest? What's the name of the person and the address? As somebody one little regular Jamaican thieves in thing, their face put up, their name, them address, who them attached to. How no always I find gun and we can't find out who ship it here? Because you can't ship nothing. I want to know who ship it and to who it's going. It right by the barrel. On a drunk crow. What's the thing gonna take people for idiot?
Alright, so we reach the end of another video. Feel free to share your thoughts. And if you haven't liked this one as yet, please to do so. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please to do so. Bless up yourself.
On the views.